Good afternoon and welcome back to Norbreck here up in the northwest in Blackpool. The Golden 8 Ball you can see there, and Q and Case, the sponsors, Aramith, Specsavers, all great supporters of this fantastic event. And we have a game from the bronze last 32. It's a race to 7, Blackpool rules. And we have Stan's Derby entertainers coming all the way across from the east. They're from Newcastle, from the northeast, and from North Wales, we've got the Muppets. And there we see another view of this, just up on the left there where you see the staging. That's the top table up there, and all the tables in the background, all matches ongoing in the gold and bronze sections. And it's the Muppets, Nick Hughes, who's going to get this match underway with the cut break. It comes up dry, and it's Stan Yanetta, Stan of the Stan's Derby Entertainers, who's up first. He's going to take yellows. As always, please do like and share the stream. Let's make sure everyone's aware that it's on. A little flick on the yellow may have just put those two yellows in play now. One was tied up on the red. I think they probably both go now. Certainly, if not to bottom left, then open to middle. So Nick Hughes realising the danger, and he needs to establish himself in this frame because all his reds are tied up in this bottom left corner, so trying to get some covering fire in. At the top of the table. And now he's bought himself some time, he can start manoeuvring his balls out. Maybe he had to get a couple out here. Decided not to, just get the one over this right-hand side pocket. Stan doing the right thing there. He had that one problem, yellow at the top of the table, and now he's got that. He is firmly in control of this frame. So Stan probably shortly needs to make his way about this clearance, but it is one of those clearances, it's a bit of a must make. I don't quite think he's ready to take them out yet, but if he takes too many more balls off the table, he has to concern himself where that black is at the moment. If he takes too many more balls off the table, then the advantage could swing the other way. Now, a couple of options here. He could try and play a skill shot, or maybe just try and force Stan into taking that yellow at the top of the table. Not convinced I'd be potting balls here. I think it's if you're involved in a game of chess, which this one is, then you're better off having as many chess pieces on the table as possible. So if he is going to go for this clearance, then he needs to attack this bottom right pocket. The trouble is having two yellows over the pocket, it's like clattering into them. If you take one, then the other one may well be in there. So, oh, that would be perfect, wouldn't it? Put the Muppets theme tune on. If only the jukebox didn't have about a 3-hour waiting list on it. Now it really is advantage yellows. Needs the ball to hit the rail, and he did. And this was the problem with potting the reds. When he had all the traffic on the table, he could manipulate the balls in his favour, but he's running out of balls now. So I think he's going to go for an attacking shot. Pot the red into middle, cue ball back down. Everything's going to be moving. Has it come out? I think it has, you know. What a great shot. Needed a bit of luck, but I think he's had it. The red goes. He can land on the other one. Oh, what a great outcome for him. He's even got an angle to nudge the black out if he wants to. He only needs a little nudge on it just to push it 2 or 3 inches up the table. Oh, he's just come up the wrong side of it. Don't think it goes to top right past that yellow. May just be able to get him behind the yellow, you know, off that knuckle. It's one of those that, well, does it? Don't think so. He'd play it to middle though. Cue ball's going to be running. It was a tough pot to middle. Should be fairly straightforward for Stan Yanetta. Probably just a couple of inches further than he would have liked. He may go top corner. I still prefer middle myself, but and that's the first frame to Stan's. Stands wins the lag. And they will break in frame number 2 in the guise of Tom Stavers. He will be playing for the Muppets, Joe Dewhurst. As I say, stands from the northeast, from Newcastle. The Muppets from North Wales. The Welsh dragon emblazoned on their shirt. Proud Welshman. There's a decent crowd forming around the arena table now. A few people just up the left side with an interest in this game. Tom Stavers to get this underway. Immediately loses the cue ball. Oh, cue ball. Goodness, just for a second, it looked like it was going to dip into that pocket. It's half in. Look at that. Half the ball is over the edge of the pocket, I reckon. How is that not dropped? Another millimetre of roll, and gravity would have taken over. A lot of traffic through the middle of the table for these Reds, and he's overhit that one by about a foot. So now cue ball will be running. If you can play a gentle little shot just to come in between, looks like the natural angle will come in between the yellow and the black. Trusting a little bit to luck, I think. And played it a lot harder. And ultimately missed the pot. And it brings Tom Stavers back to the table, having broken dry. He's got an opening yellow along the bottom rail, but no easy positional shot for the next, so he just drops that in. He's left an awkward little plant into right centre, but one I think that Joe has to go for. It's a horrible little shot, but I don't think he's got much else here. The trouble is, in playing the plant, it doesn't really offer up much in the way of further attacking opportunities. You can make the plant, but then still not be on another ball. But, I don't see too many other good options here. Oh, there was a gap between the two reds. Just had a gap to get through there. These tables play generously when you play them at the right pace, but as soon as you try and nail them into the corner, you have to get them dead center. They are unforgiving. Suddenly, yellows are on. So if you haven't done so before, please do subscribe to our YouTube page. We're over 7,000 subscribers on there now, but we always welcome more. Subscribe to the page. And when you do that, also click to get notifications, and you'll get a notification come through whenever we go live. You won't miss any of the action. And also head across to the Facebook page and give the Beard Productions page and the Golden 8 Ball page a like. In fact, join the Golden 8 Ball group. Black to middle. That's a nice clearance from Tom, and they are now 2-0. You see the players looking up to their right-hand side. There is a big screen that we're beaming the signal, so the players are seeing exactly what you're seeing. Stands win the lag again. This time Richie Ames playing Gary Eccleston. Pack just looked slightly tilted in that shot. Sure, not intentional. But, maybe just my eyes. Just looks slightly offset. Easy to do, which is why I quite like having the line on the table, so you can see the line down the centre of the pack Nice little developing shot. And he landed in the middle of the three to give himself options. Red just came to cover one. And got this little cluster of 4 balls in the middle of the table. Oh, there's that unwanted kiss, and I think that's going to cause him a problem. I don't think he can get through to the potting angle on that now. Maybe he can just. There, you can squeeze past. Oh, this is okay. I'm convinced he played it that way. A little shake of his head suggests that he didn't. I think he was trying to hold for the yellow into the bottom corner, and then he could just nudge into the pack to open up the other yellow. May still be able to do it from here. If this does pass, no, I think he's just got the wrong angle. Yeah, he was just trying to put it in the top of the bag. No, Kevin, unfortunately, no, we're not covering the Worlds. I imagine they probably have got coverage. I'm not sure who. It's I think they're kind of in-house streaming now, so could I handle another week and a half in Blackpool is the question. I don't think my family would thank me if I said I was going to stay up for another week or two. It was interesting. Yeah, I'd like to stay up and watch, Kev, for sure I would. But no, sadly, family commitments, etc. And I'm nominated driver as well, so I've got to pack up and get all this kit in the van and get it back down the M6 and M5. I was going to say, interestingly, we often talk about the standard of pool on the streaming table, and sometimes I notice it's easy to criticise when we don't see people break dishing. And one of the players, in fact, the captain of the losing team in the last match, he said to me afterwards that he sat there. He said he watches a lot of stream matches, and he sits there at home and thinks, how on earth did he miss that? What's he doing here? And he said, now I know. He said, playing under these conditions is just a different ball game altogether. When you suddenly got all the cameras pointing at you, it does funny things to the back elbow, and he was missing balls left, right, and Henry, and you suddenly realise that maybe not quite as simple as picking up the club, the cue down the local club and having a knockabout. Trying to play the snooker here. He's left the yellow at the bottom of the table. Still got this problem of the yellow in this cluster. Oh, good luck in the Masters, Kevin. Hope you have a good run and enjoy your time over at the Imperial. We passed the Imperial on the way here. Bit of a chess match going on here. Neither player willing to commit. And as I say, this little cluster of balls creating problems for both players. Does he have an angle here to screw back off the side rail? Doesn't need much, it just needs a nudge on that yellow. Oh, that's a good shot. That's opened things right up. Hasn't got an angle to go up table. I would say screw across off the side rail, but that red's gone right in the path of that shot. So I think probably just drop it in and take the medicine. He's just put a little bit of stun on that shot, which just sent it slightly wider. And now this is a thin cut. And that yellow going on the top rail is just giving Gary free license here. He can go for this clearance, knowing full well that if he misses, then Richie is no shot. At best, he's going to have a double. It's always nice because it gives you that little bit of freedom to relax, knowing that you don't have the pressure. Pressure obviously does a really strange things to the back elbow, can make it all tighten up. He's just overhit that one slightly, gave himself an ironic tap on the table. Should still be okay. Oh, cue ball. Boy, I think he's just okay. He is. Heart would have been in his mouth for just a second. And the Muppets get a frame on the board. It's now 2 frames to 1 in favour of Stans. Absolutely not, Kevin. Teams from all over the country, from Oxford, from Newbury. Teams, I know players have come up from Bristol. I think there's a team, I saw Josh Connolly. I don't know if they actually brought their team up. They were listed as being here, and they're from all the way down. I think they're kind of Worthing way, aren't they, down towards Brighton. Bit of Chaz and Dave on the jukebox, Snooker Loopy. The Muppets, all 4 of them. Which one's Gonzo, which one's Animal, which one's Kermit, and which one's Miss Piggy? But no, this is open to teams all over. They had the amateur event last week. This is the Pro-Am. And in November, they have the Bapto, which is the 5-man event, 128 teams. What a tune this is. Curtis Mayfield. Move on up. Yeah, Welsh are here in force. There's a good showing from the Welsh. There's Keeping It Real, Lewis Healy and his team. What a great view that is, looking back across the center of the arena. And that arena stretches way up to the left-hand side. You're just seeing about a quarter of it there. There's a bar right at the end, which the bar staff are being kept busy throughout the weekend. As previously mentioned, 42 tables. These Sam Atlantic new Bapto edition tables. The 2 arena tables sporting the Hainsworth Silver Precision, which is a brand new cloth on debut for this event. Dean McIntosh, half decent chance here to draw things level. Just needs to concern himself over the order he takes these in. Yeah, that looks okay. Just needs to chop it through. I just wonder, I don't think he can avoid nudging the red on the way past. But if he tops it, oh, he just needed to focus on the pot. Just took his eye off the pot, focused more on what connection he made with the red as he brushed past it. Easily done. Steve Ryder for Stan's Derby Entertainers was not best impressed with that. I think order of the day here is take the yellow, which is covering the right-hand corner bag, pot that, and then you've got the 2 reds either side, top and bottom of the black. You're going to be on at least one of those 2. And that clears that pocket. Yeah, he's on either ball. He's going to take the one nearest us first. A little soft screw shot. Just back to just high of where he is now. That's too much. Got too much into it. Just needed that kind of gentle screw shot, just slightly more subtle. And he's left a horrible angle here. I don't think he can avoid going into that yellow on the side rail. Would have preferred even to be straight was fine, because he could have just screwed straight back. I don't know how he gets across to the left-hand side of the table now. Maybe screw down below the yellow side cushion, bottom cushion, and out that way, but take some cueing. And now he's looking at the long red. He may be forced into taking the one next to the black first, you know, because in potting this, he just cannot avoid that yellow on the side rail, and he endangers snookering himself. The one next to the black is a much tougher pot, but if he gets it, it rewards in the frame. So he is digging down into the cue ball, but yeah, well, it was always going to be the case. He's left a thin cut. Another tune here. It's called Escape. I'll be impressed if someone can tell me who sung it. No Googling. I love a pina colada. What's there not to like? I bet you love a pina colada, George. In fact, you're probably more of a... No, not Journey. More of a whiskey sour man. It is a great tune. Come on. Somebody's going to know it. Got to tell me before it ends. You win a pack of peanuts. Dry roasted. I'll put them in the post. Not allowed to Google. You're only cheating yourself. Gary Dornan, Rupert Holmes, yes sir. Rupert Holmes, very good. You win yourself a packet of dry roasted peanuts. They will be in the post within the next 3 weeks. What a name. Turn off CC Google, please, Dawson. How'd you come up with a name like that? I've Googled it and still never heard of him. Dan Perry likes turtles. Thanks for letting us know. I'm a fan of them myself. If anyone else wants to tell us any random facts about things they like, then please feel free. We still haven't had our playlist on. You'll know when it comes on. We've started with the signature tune, the chat box tune. Sing the theme tune. Theme tune to what? Are you talking about the band, the Turtles? The 60s band that sang Happy Together. Happy Together. That's the end of the first rotation. If you're wondering why there's a slight break in the action, the captains are choosing their picks for the next 4. And then we're just getting the order. It's just a break for a minute. I'm just going to use the opportunity to take a bathroom break. I'll speak to you in a second. Can someone remind me not to wear a grey pair of jeans next time I come here? Because you go in and wash your hands in the bathroom, and the tap is so powerful that it hits the bottom of the sink and it splashes all over your trousers. And then you walk out of the bathroom and it looks like you've weed down your leg. It's a bit embarrassing. It's really not a dribble mark. It's Golden 8 Ball is in the Norbrec. Is it Norbrec Castle? It is Norbrec Castle, isn't it? Norbrec Castle Hotel. I'm looking for confirmation, but I'm getting none. Norbrec Castle in Blackpool. The jukebox has been a money spinner this weekend, and great addition it is too. And really good idea by the organisers. I know it cost them a lot of money to get this in over the few weeks, and all of the money that goes into that jukebox is going to charity. So non-profit making jukebox. In fact, I don't think they'd have made any profit the amount that it's cost them to hire it. But the Whizzy Bugs charity are getting every pound that goes through that jukebox. Some banging tunes coming out today. Was this Prodigy, wasn't it? Was it Prodigy from the Fat of the Land album? Anyway, we're in the second rotation, and it's back to Tom Stavers against Joe Dewhurst. Tom for Stans and Joe for the Muppets. Tom at the table. They're leading 3-1. He's on yellows. There's a tune you never hear. Anyone remember who this was? The Killing Moon. Don't hear anything of them anymore, really, do you? This is round of 32, Kevin. Brom's last 32. Dips his head in frustration, and great chance here for Reds and the Muppets to pull back within one frame. Don't know, Neil. Don't know who's going to be streamed. We will try and find out. They've just literally been just sending teams across to us. So I would imagine they will probably try and stream as singles, wouldn't you? But I don't know. I don't know what the score is, to be honest. Depends if there's a juicy one coming up in the gold section, I guess. And whether they normally stream the quarters or whether they start at the semis, I don't know. They started at the semis on the ladies yesterday. We will try and find out. Oh, what a nice kiss. Nice kiss. Fairly straight black to top corner. And just nail it. Don't play it soft. Oh. They do wipe their feet and drop, don't they? Used all of the pocket. Both knuckles about 3 times. We'll get someone over to the top table to find out what they plan on streaming. He's currently making us coffee at the moment. He's doing such a good job, his Pez, I tell you. He's keeping us in coffees and water and snacks, and just generally never seen anyone with his energy level. Back to Stan Janetta against Nick Hughes. No one told me who was singing the Killing Fields. That was Echo and the Bunnymen. How's that gone dry? Raises his palms to the sky as if to say exactly the same. Look at that. All but 4 balls in the top half of the table, and nothing's found its way into the pocket. But look at the congestion around the top of the table. It's funny, isn't it? You've got like 5 reds, and then you've got a line of 5 yellows. What a spread. So what's the plan for these yellows at the top of the table? Pot the one on the left-hand side and maybe try and shift a few balls around. He's going to play the double, is he, or is he going to play the safety? No, it's all out attack, went for the double. Kevin, I get the feeling you're a bit too much of a deep thinker. I must admit, the thought did cross my mind once. It's hard to imagine. I mean, there's obviously billions of combinations. When you've got 15 balls in an area 7x4, it's not possible, is it? To have had an identical split. Played that well, but as good as he could have got it. He can just drop this in. And the same with this red. And it's up to Stan now to re-establish the lead at 2 frames. Another black that we've seen missed. Oh, the tunes are coming now. Drifters. Show. Paul's got his head in his hands. As soon as I start singing, I don't know what's wrong with him. I got the voice of an angel, mate. Voice of an angel. Trouble is, I've got the liver of a wino. laying the trap. He's even tapping his foot over here. Paul getting into... oh, I know what we haven't put on this weekend. I'll tell you what we need to put on this weekend on that jukebox. If there wasn't about a 6-hour wait on it. Temptations. Papa Was a Rolling Stone. 10-minute version. Really important here for Nick Hughes to clear this table. I think he's going to lay another trap here, but he needs to win this frame. They cannot afford to go 4-2 behind. Singing, dancing, swinging. Picking up the cue ball. Just break open these two yellows. If they come out nice, they should be framed. I don't think I plant one onto the other. That yellow goes into the center, so just come just to the right of where he is as we look at it, and just half ball the yellow across, so it's in open play on the left-hand side of the table. White ball off the cushion and back into open play for that yellow as his next ball into middle bag. The trouble is, in playing yellow onto yellow, one of them could go safe. And that was the problem. Push the yellow onto the bottom rail. I think, yeah. Muttering to himself, and a little shake of the head. Not a happy bunny. He is going to get another chance, and these chances will start running out very, very soon. This is going to be his last one, you feel, with the black looming over that top left bag. We knew what you mean, Dawson, the corgis. Miyagi. As I said, the chances eventually were going to run out, and they did. And that was a big frame. Difference between 3-all and 4-2 there in a race to 7 obviously goes without saying, it's massive. Coming up on the 19th of July, keep an eye out for the Supreme Series Event 3, where that man on screen, Mr. Cowboys, will be defending his title. If you want to know when we go live, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell. And head across to Facebook, like the Beard Productions page, and while you're there, join the Golden 8 Ball group. That's all we ask of you, really. It's not bad, is it? Steve Ryder will be up against Gary Eccleston. Steve for the stands and Gary for the Muppets. Steve's won the lag. He's setting up the balls. A couple of people walking through with takeaway packages behind that. Got themselves a bag of chips from somewhere. Oh, bring us some over. Give us a chip. Oh, they can't hear me. Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? A few chips with some salt and vinegar on. Got me hungry, that has, thinking about that. If anyone's in the Blackpool area and want to do a mercy mission, we'll have a portion of chips with salt and vinegar. I know. I'll be lucky. Dry break from Steve. The experience of Gary Eccleston comes to the table. They really do have to win this frame. Not a nice little cannon. Yeah, you felt that he had a chance to scream behind the balls, and I'm not sure anything needed moving there. He played it at pace to cannon into them, but I think he had a plan, or certainly the top yellow went. It's the trouble when you're moving balls. There's always a chance that they can go a bit wrong. Martin Peach is the official photographer for the event. If you're around about the event, then go over and say hello to Martin and get your picture taken. He just takes them at random unless you ask him, and if you ask him, he'll get a good one of you. There he is, doing his work. That's the man. You can't meet him in that big red and yellow. Which one is he? Oh yeah, he's the one with Martin Peach on his back. Look, we're gonna get picture on picture now. We're gonna get Pez taking a picture of Martin, taking a picture of Pez. There we go. Look at that. Look, they're gonna take pictures of each other at the same time. One good pot and a good positional shot. Oh, didn't he play that well? Just a really subtle screw shot. So this was a big frame, and it's Gary Eccleston with this black. And he nails it, as you expect him to, and it's 4 frames to 3. The match is back in the balance. Another lag. Goes way of Stan's entertainers. So a dry break from Richie Ames and Dean McIntosh for the Muppets. I think reds, probably yellows are situated slightly better, but doesn't have an easy opener. Just push that yellow down in the path of the red, so that red now doesn't pass into bottom right. Oh, by the way, Paul, we saw your twin brother playing over the other side. We saw him when we walked back in earlier, so he is in. We're going to get him across here, take a photo of you side by side, and do a spot the difference. Again, goes without saying, another huge frame in the context of the game. (5-3) or 4-all in a race to 7. Huge contrast. So the plan for the ball on the right side cushion has to be a double, you think? This looks just the wrong angle. A little bit double kiss, is it? It looks a bit double kiss to me. I think he wanted to be just a touch higher. I think he's going to have to take the one on the blue spot first and try and find a better angle. If he was playing it from where the red is on the blue spot, or just a fraction lower, No. Because the yellow, does it double? Don't think, well, I don't think he can get through to it full ball, can he? He might be able to, yes he can. Yes he can, and I think there's a gap between black and yellow, and I reckon this doubles. He's going to have to straighten it up, so he's going to have to punch it. He's going to have to punch it. But I reckon this doubles. Good, solid punch. Yes, great shot. What a find. Still got a tricky black. Still got a tricky black. Squeaky bum time. Cueing it off the rail. Nails it. Does he? Oh, I thought that was there. They tend to wipe their feet and drop, and I thought that was there. But look at the yellows. Now it's okay laying a trap, but I think he has to. Well, I'm surprised he potted that. I really am. I would have thought a snooker was order of the day. I know it's only a one cushion escape, but you have to try and force a foul to try and give yourself that free shot to move those two yellows. What about this? Decent effort. But now this is a very tough ask. I think he has to go for the one. Well, is he trying to lay the trap here, or is he going to try and pot it up the rail? A bit of a 2-in-1. He can bend this. In fact, I'm not even sure he needs to bend it. He can just go to side rail. Any contact on the black and it drops. Yeah, easy enough. And that is now back at 4 frames apiece. So up again, and this is the third rotation. Stan Yanetta for Stan's Derby Entertainers taking on Gary Eccleston for the Muppets. 4 frames apiece. The match is right back in the balance, and Stan's been in charge of it for much of it, but the Muppets have pulled their way right back into it. Kevin asking about the cues. Watching from the USA, notice a difference in cues, no special designs. Is there any specific cues? Well, I mean, where to start really? There are dozens and dozens of cue makers in the UK. Probably lots of kind of smaller cue makers have emerged over the last 10 years or so. They differ. They tend to be between about 56 and 59 inches long. They're spliced normally with ebony, and then different splices over the top. So basically you get a piece of ash. They tend to be ash or maple. Most popular ash. You get a piece of ash and cut it down to size. So you have your blank, and then you add your splices around, and then work the cue. They tend to be between a 7mm and a 10mm tip. Probably the most popular being around about 8.5mm. Whereas you'd be more used to using a 11, 12 or 13mm tip in the States. The balls are 2 1/4 inch, so they're just over 2 inch. So they're quite a bit smaller than the ball you'd be used to, a lot more reactive. Every cue, pretty much every cue, different in design. Most cue makers go for a unique cue every time. There are some popular cue makers like John Paris who make a fairly standard range of cues. But a lot of the craftsman cue makers, they tend to make each one unique to how the person wants them, and you can use, a range of hundreds of different woods in the spices. And it then just depends how inventive they want to be. They lay splice over splice, and just blend them in. And then it's just down to a question of personal taste. The cue ball just fractionally smaller than the object balls, and that's for no other reason than these tables, as you would call them in the States, bar boxes, same size, 7x4s, for the coin return mechanism, so the ball can return back through the mechanism when you put you pay per game basically. But it does mean that the cue ball is very reactive to side. And you can do things with this cue ball that you could never do on an American table. And then there are one-piece queues, two-piece queues. They're not as ornate as you'd be used to for an American queue. I know that they tend to get bound, don't they? Like almost cotton bound, and then maybe a resin set over the top of them. And then there's all kinds of like really ornate inlays. But the queues you use are much heavier. These tend to be around about 17 ounces would be fairly standard. Thousands of different versions and variants. There's probably about 30 different tips on the market you can use. Big cheers in the background. There's some important games going on. The red sat in front of the two yellows needs to be dealt with sooner rather than later. I think he's just tried to come down and hold on the yellows for the red in the center. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is nowhere particularly safe on the table either. What an atmosphere there is in here at the moment. It is ridiculous. I'm not quite sure what's going on, I'll be honest. There is a massive, massive crowd around a table, and it's just like a football match. I need to find out what's going on over there. I really do not know what is going on in the arena. There's a massive crowd around the table watching. I do not know. I can't imagine how there's so many people cheering on whatever it is. Everyone craning their necks for a look. kind of money match atmosphere. Well, whatever it is, it's finished and everyone's starting to wander away. Next up is going to be the next up on the stream table will be the White Hart against 4 Dragons and a Frog. The White Hart team being Adam Griffiths and Kian Monaghan, a couple of other lads as well. So should be a good game up next. It's in the gold section. That's the 3 p.m. game, but obviously we've got to get to the end of this one first. Still 4 frames left to play, 3 after this one. Apparently that was just one of the qualification games, so not quite sure why the excitement and the great cheers. Must have been something fairly meaningful. And as that crowd have broken away from across on that table, have now found their way across to arena. There's a fair few people now watching on. So Gary Eccleston now with a really nice chance to take the lead in this match, having the Muppets having been behind pretty much all the way through. He just needs to compose himself. Big shot coming up. Just stunned back off the red. Oh, he could avoid the kiss on the red. And now this straight black. And it's going to be the Muppets who take the lead 7-5. Don't even know what I'm saying there. Take the lead 5-4. No idea where 7-5 came from. Just made that up. Dean McIntosh up next for the Muppets. Tom Stavers for Stan's Derby Entertainers. The Muppets with that slender advantage. This is yet another big frame coming up. Interesting break there. He's breaking from the top rail, but had the cue ball really close. Usually the players, you see them putting the cue ball closer to the bulk line to get that full drawback. All these reds have a pocket. Could do with clearing the 1-3 up in this line of balls sooner rather than later, and a nice little nudge up into that ball. Don't know if he's covered the potting angle by the yellow. Next game up on stream will be, it'll involve the White Hart team, which is Adam Griffiths, Kian Monaghan. I'll get the other names for it. I can't remember who their opponents are going to be now. I did announce it earlier, but the name escapes me. overcut that, and Dean McIntosh should be clearing these. This is as dot to dot as it gets. Drop, drop, drop. I think I'd have liked that straight, just to screw back around the blue spot. I think he's still okay though. Yeah, could hold it. It's perfect. And now they are on the hill, 6 frames to 4. Stans have always been in charge of this game until this big fight back from the Muppets, and now they are on the hill, needing one more. So Muppets win the lag. Brimmer. So this is Richie Amos against Nick Hughes in what is either the final or the penultimate frame. Let's see whether Stans can fight their way back into it. have to have a listen to that, Dave. Not something I'm familiar with. Not a band I'm familiar with, actually. But I will have a listen to that. Make a note of it.
Right, shoot up from table 13, now 36. Referee to 36 for shoot up, please. Referee, shoot up, please, 36.
Disaster for Nick Hughes. Gives Richie a great chance. He's going to ask to lift the white, I think. And it's one of those situations that you could probably do more harm than good by trying to do anything spectacular with the free shot. I mean, could have possibly pushed one of the yellows safe, but I hardly think that necessary. Aiming point is the black ball. And he's going to go up table. He's leaving this one in the traffic till last. And I'm not sure about that. I think I might have tried to... Has he left the gap? Oh dear. So maybe it would have been worth trying to push one of those yellows safe with that free shot. Because this could be last rights now. That's a good question, Kevin. I have to say, it's asked, has my game improved from watching and commentating on so many games? The problem is, I never really get to play anymore. What with family commitments and having a young son and coming away to these events, etc., I don't do much more than play a couple frames on a Wednesday night. So I'd love to say it's improved my game, and in all honesty, it probably has, in terms of like shot selection and pattern play, and you can definitely improve by watching top players. Definitely improve. And if I practiced, I'd be better. And I really do think that that watching these games would have helped me. But the problem is, as I say, I never really get to practice anymore. So I don't have too much in the way of expectations. But a really good question. And in the meantime, Nick Hughes just seeing out these last couple of balls. Can he pot this black to get them over the line? It's a pressure ball, and he nails it. And his team cheer him on. Well played to him, and well played to the Muppets. As I say, they were never really in that game until they suddenly found their feet. And I think they probably won about 5 in a row there. Did they win 5 on the trot from 5-2 down? We're going to step across and interview the winning captain and get his views on that game. We'll see you across in the interview booth in a couple of minutes, and then probably 10 minutes after that we'll be getting on with the next game. So action's coming thick and fast. We'll see you over in the interview booth in just a couple of minutes.
What could go wrong?
Joined by Gary, the winning captain. Gary, you seem to struggle early doors, but came through in the end.
Yes, they were a very good team at the start, so they were very, very, very strong. I don't think we could play a stronger team at the start. Very attacking, but they seem to know what they're doing. I think they crumbed a little bit later on as well.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys seem to settle into the game. Is that the way it's been going for you?
I think it's because we've had a few heavy nights. We've done really well having a few beers. So,
just on that note, I mean, this is a different atmosphere to most of the events, isn't it? I mean, how are you enjoying it?
My second time here. I loved it the first time. I had to come back.
Yeah.
Completely different from international events, and we gelled as a team. We only met each other last year.
Really?
Properly, you know. Only 2 of us knew each other. But we had such a good time last time. We had to do it again.
And as I say, it's just a party atmosphere. The music's going.
Yeah.
There's crowds cheering everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a distraction, or are you able to focus?
No, I think we all thrive on it.
Yeah.
because it's a not sort of a natural environment for playing pool.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play in a better place. He really couldn't. And all the crowd and the atmosphere just adds to it. Love it.
Through the last 16 now, do you think you can go all the way?
Why not? Why not? Yeah. We've got the team to do it, and we've got a really good camaraderie going. So our friendship is our bond and our strength. So we'll be fine.
All about teamwork.
Yes. Yeah. And a good laugh.
Yeah, and a good laugh.
More important to have a good laugh.
Enjoy the rest of the day, and let's hope you do go all the way. Best of luck for the rest of the tournament. Cheers, Gary. All the best, mate.